Hello, this is Mark here at Gary's Guitars, and this is Open Books Volume 2, Part 2, where I talk about the economics of running a um, small independent guitar store. So, in the last episode, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I'll just do a slight recap, which is I talked about why I bought a guitar store, why I think there might be a future in being a small store, um, and then how the actual economics of what do we buy and what do we sell and how much. And so the guitar world used to be a good markup world, and now it's an okay markup world, and it's kind of like the margins are shrinking. The cost goes up on goods, what you can sell them goes down, and you just get caught in this little bit of a squeeze. This has to do with all the independent businesses that are disappearing rapidly up and down your streets, the independent hardware stores. You would buy a bucket of paint for $20 and you would sell it for 40, and that's a great markup, right? That's 100% markup. But you'd only sell a few buckets of paints a day, and then you'd be selling screws that don't really make you much money. But it all somehow worked out because there was a lot of margin to pad things. Those days are over. In the guitar store, when Gary first opened his store, it was you took the number that you paid for the thing, you multiply it by 2, and that's what you sell it for. And in that kind of in that world, that worked. And that's those days are gone. So let's not begrudge it. Moving on, talking about what is the end. Well, let's talk about things that aren't guitar stores. Let's talk about the independent store versus the big box store versus the online store. So three kind of categories. So we have the independent store, which is in decline, and not only in the guitar business but in most businesses, because the convenience of getting things mailed to you. When you have these big companies that will just send you anything, that's the online aspect. Then you have the big box, the Home Depotification, where Home Depot came into every town and Lowe's, and there's all the local hardware stores have been going out of business because you just can't work that old business model anymore. They come in with a new business model. Let's sell things even cheaper. So what if the margins are small? We would just sell a lot of stuff. We'll sell people stuff they don't even know they want. And it's just the way of business in that respect. And in the big box store world and the big retail, the physical retail world has been taken over by the fashion industry. And so if you go into a shopping mall, you'll see nothing but clothing stores. There's no such thing as Radio Shack anymore. There's no such thing as department stores, hardly. I mean, the department stores, so a store where you can go, hey, let's go look at the refrigerators. I hate clothes. Can't you tell? Um, and so whenever I'm in the unfortunate predicament of being in a mall, when I was younger, it's like, well, just go to Sears and look at the dryers. I don't know. But there's no Sears in our mall anymore. And it's just clothing. And the clothing, in the fast fashion world especially, the margins are crazy thin. And you can't do that kind of business and be an independent store. You have to be turning those numbers and getting those deals that you can. It's just unattainable. So to be an independent small clothing store, you can't sell discount clothes. You have to be a premium store. So let's talk about what drives that trend. Some of it is, just changes in American life. People are less likely to. I mean, if you look at the cell phone that you probably have in your hand right now, it's kind of everything everyone needs. Greg Brown, the songwriter, said, "They'll everything you need in one little box. As a one company, one corporation will make one little box. It will give you everything you need and cost you everything you got." There it is. So, meaning you don't have to go to a record store. You get your phone, all the records in the world, all the music you ever thought of hearing, it's probably on your phone. You don't have to go, there's so much that simplifies in your life. Or like, oh, I need need a pack of strings. Some people just, Amazon, pack of strings will be here tomorrow. Oh well, I'll just do it tomorrow. And this is just something we got used to during those pandemic times as well. Ordering something, waiting a day for it, it shows up, and then you use it. little about my business background. I worked at Amazon.com briefly back in the year 99, 2000-ish. And had I stayed there, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. We'd be talking. I'd be doing a live from my yacht, probably, but because they've grown quite a bit since then. But it was I just did it because I wanted to live on the West Coast, and everyone was working in these tech businesses, and I said, why not? So I ended up leaving, and Amazon, Walmart. The Goliath companies that everyone's getting into shipping direct, same day shipping, next day shipping. It keeps people out of the independent stores a bit. So the business model private equity figures largely into the Guitar Store story because of Guitar Center has been owned for ever 12 years, maybe more, by at least two different private equity firms. Private equity does what they do well. They will find a business that's underperforming but with potential. They will take it private. Then they figure out a way to borrow some money and pay themselves back for what they just did. And then they'll consult to the company and take a little money for that consulting. And in that model, they will teach that company how to be more like American Eagle Outfitters. Or Forever 21, that's a good example, because that store was destroyed by private equity. About selling super low margins, cranking up the volume, using marketing to push sales harder. And that's the Guitar Store model. And it's because private equity came in and said, it's cute what you got here, but it kind of backfired on them a little. There was an economic downturn in the late 2000s, and right up through the pandemic, which so COVID-19 to 2020, they wanted to go public again to get their money back, because eventually they had to borrow money, steal money, and then they get their money back later. And it just hasn't been possible. And they really thought they could go public just before reality hit. And I don't think that's going to happen right now. And so, but private equity, if they fail in that mission of launching that company into the stratosphere and then walking away with a bunch of money, then plan B is pick it apart for the bones, sell the real estate, maybe bankruptcy and shrinking and all sorts of stuff like that, which reorganization, they've done that before, I think. Have they done it? Yeah, I think they did a Chapter 11. I can't remember now. But do a reorganization and or cook the books a little, keep it going. And when it really does hit the ground, it'll be just like Forever 21. One day you show up and the door's locked. And but they have a way of backing out of that and still making money. So, and that's the largest retailer in music retail right now in America. And the impact of that is huge. However, like I mentioned in my last video, if I'm going to have a competitor, I'd rather they be an inept competitor, and that they actually do send business our way. They make people search out something that isn't the American Eagle Outfitters of guitar, and that's the niche we have here. So, let's see if I can include anything else in this one. So that talked about the margins, about the Home Depotification. Maybe we'll leave that here for now, and then we'll do one more, and I'm not sure when that will get done, maybe another week. But check out all the other videos here on YouTube, because there are a bunch of them, and check out the predecessor to this video. Instagram. We're going to do YouTube Live again, because we used to do that and we've fallen off, but we've resolved to do it again. So keep an eye out for that and subscribe and all that good stuff. And thanks for watching.